Hey y'all, it's Jennifer. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am coming to you with a very exciting video that I love to film every year. It is our announcement for ancientsathon. So ancientsathon is once again happening this year, and when I tell you how long we've been doing this, I think you're going to be shocked. This is the third year of ancientsathon. If you are unfamiliar with ancientsathon, it was the brainchild of Tori over at Good Strong Words a few years ago. It is a readathon that runs throughout the month of June. And the ultimate goal of this readathon is to focus on reading literature that was written prior to 1700. So that can be actual ancient literature, the literature of antiquity, but it can be medieval, it can be Renaissance. It's just basically so that we focus on different time periods that maybe don't get the same level of attention as other time periods of classics here on BookTube. And so that's why ancientsathon was born. And so I am joining again as a co-host, and so is David Wiley. So I will link to down below Tori's and David's channels and their announcement videos. In the past, we've had multiple different prompts. We've had Goodreads groups, and we've had group reads. And I think for all three of us, May and June in particular look like really busy months. And so we decided that we just really wanted to pare it down this year. So ancientsathon is going to be very simple. As always, you don't really have to participate in the prompts. If you're just reading something that was written prior to 1700, you are absolutely participating in ancientsathon. But we do have several prompts that we roll over each year, kind of perennials. And those three are the main prompts this year. So the first of these prompts is to read a work of poetry. This is my favorite prompt, and I think it's the one that is the most flexible because you can kind of give and take here a little bit. You can read something that's very short. You can read something that's incredibly long, like an epic poem like the Iliad. And so this can cover a lot of bases for you. I find that poetry is really my favorite aspect of reading classics. I thoroughly enjoy reading poetry, and this is always my favorite prompt every year. I think I find my favorite of the month when I am reading poetry. The options vary widely here. You can go for something very famous, like the sonnets of William Shakespeare. You can go for something lesser known. You can try to hit multiple different time periods with these prompts, which I think is really fun and is kind of what I intended to do last year, but I don't know that I actually achieved that. Our next prompt is to read a play, and this is also very flexible. Plays, I think, are probably the works that are most known, written prior to 1700, because we of course have Shakespeare, and we also have the ancient Greeks. I think this is a really fun prompt. It also winds up being, I'm not going to say my most successful prompt of the year, but I think it often ends up being the most interesting thing for me is the play that I pick. And so this is one that I am always excited by, and I'm really excited to see TBRs on because plays are not things that I typically find myself reading throughout the rest of the year. And I tend to only read maybe one or two in ancientsathon, so I definitely should read more. But this is another of my favorite prompts. And our last prompt is to read a work of nonfiction. And this can be kind of flexible. You can read a work of nonfiction that is written about a time period, but you can also read a work of nonfiction that was written prior to 1700. And I personally think those are really interesting. There's not a lot in terms of what we might call actual novels prior to 1700, but there was a lot of essay writing going on, and I personally think these three prompts can kind of work together conjunctively depending on what you're looking for, because you can often find an essay on one of the ancient Greek playwrights or an essay on poetry, and so you can read that poem or that play and then read nonfiction that is about that, which I think is really interesting. This is also a really fun opportunity to read something like someone's journal. I think this is a really fun prompt, and nonfiction tends to be a prompt I feel like I never am all that successful at. And so this year, my goal is definitely to get to my nonfiction pick. Absolutely. I think that needs to be top priority for me. I hope that you will join us for ancientsathon. I hope that you will let us know what your TBR is. We do have the hashtag for ancientsathon, which I frequently check. So please, if you're posting anything, if you're posting your TBR here or on Instagram, please use that hashtag so that we can find it. I am really excited about going into our third year here. I truly cannot believe that that's the case. I cannot believe that we've been doing this for 3 years, but I hope that you enjoy it this year, even though it's a little bit pared down. I think That means that the TBR can be a little bit more flexible and you can feel more comfortable moving things in and out of your TBR, if that makes sense. You're not married to your massive pile of possibilities. I would love to do more video content this year around ancientsathon, and so I am trying to come up with some video ideas now, but if you have anything that you would like to see from me or the other hosts, please let us know. I'm sure we're all looking for ideas, but I will link to, again, David Wiley and Tori from Good Strong Words down below, and go check out their announcement videos. But I really do hope that you will join us this year in ancientsathon. That's going to be all for me today. I hope you're all having a great week. Happy reading. Goodbye.